The Golden Snitch by Michael Serpant. Chapter 1. Wings of the Snitch. The Golden Snitch, there it was, lurking right below the ring of the left goalpost in the Gryffindor end of the Quidditch pitch, whizzing streamlined along the high, shining pillar. They both saw it at the same time and dove for it. Draco Malfoy and Harry Potter. Natalie MacDonald, the new Gryffindor commentator, burst into a wild, girlish ballyhoo, and the students all around the stand stood up in excitement. Potter is diving like a lightning bolt for the Snitch, but Malfoy approaches from the other side dangerously fast. The Snitch won't have a chance. It's inevitable that one of them will catch it now. Oh, I hope it's Potter. Go, Potter! Ouch! Ouch! Damn, no need to poke. Oh, Professor McGonagall. Okay, I will try to be more impartial in the future. Oh, here comes Malfoy! He's flying side by side with Harry. Both approach the Snitch with a horribly high speed. Look out, Harry, you'll collide with the goalpost unless you... Potter dodges, so does Malfoy. They turn around and reach for the helpless little Snitch once again. And Merlin's beard, they smash together! All the students, as well as the professors, leaned immediately over the stand's edge for better view. Natalie continued, her voice trembling as she pulled her hair nervously with her white knuckle. They plunged alongside, towards the ground. Can they possibly survive through this horrible fall? Why won't they pull up? They almost seem to be, tangled together. What the devil is going on here? It's as if they were holding hands. Shake him away, Potter! Shake him away! But where is the Snitch? The spectators started to throw eager glances all around the Quidditch pitch, but nobody seemed to be able to distinguish the tiny golden orb anywhere. The players in both Slytherin and Gryffindor stopped their game and anxiously watched how their seekers battled together, rapidly approaching the ground. This momentary lack of attention opened the Slytherin chaser, Malcolm Baddock, a chance to score. Natalie MacDonald noticed this, and her miserable moans soon echoed all over the stadium. Oh no, Slytherin scores. It's now 30-20 for Slytherin. Oh, come on, Harry. Kick Malfoy off and get the bloody Snitch already. Oh no, Potter and Malfoy are just about to hit the ground. What in the name of Caramon is going on between them? Why won't they get separated? Oh, and here it comes, a horrible crash on the ground. I can't watch. Loud rumble filled the stands, and nobody heard what Natalie was furthermore commentating, or if she was commentating at all. The atmosphere on the pitch itself was no less anxious. Malfoy and Potter had indeed shot for the Snitch at the same time, and consequently collided with each other. But what made the situation very curious was the funny little fact that they both had caught the Snitch, and neither of them would let it go. They were holding the orb tightly from its two spluttering wings, and they were both so concerned in fighting for the victory that neither of them paid any attention to the rapidly approaching ground. And, quite gloriously, they finally smashed against the muddy and grassy ground. "Let it go, Potter," Draco grimaced. He was laying on his back, right beside the insufferable Potter. His voice came out hoarse and dangerous, as his lungs were aching mercilessly. The broom had hit him rather badly on the ribs when he had collided with the ground, yet he still managed to focus on the situation and pinched the Snitch from its other wing like a drowning man would clasp a random piece of floating wood. "Let it go! You wish," Harry snarled. With his left hand, he was massaging the spot where Malfoy's boot had left a handsome imprint during their fall. His other hand was desperately wringing the second wing of the Snitch, far away from letting it go. "I got it first." They were both exchanging murderous looks and breathing deep and fast like wild beasts. They didn't care that their heads were aching, or that even the tiniest voices rang too loudly in their ears. They didn't mind that their legs and arms were covered in bruises, and the possibility of harbouring several strained joints and broken bones was a trivial, unessential point. The only thing that mattered to them now was the powerless golden ball trapped between their fists. Harry growled loudly and grabbed Draco's fist with his free hand, trying to pry the Slytherin's fingers off the Snitch. Draco responded with another hard kick on Harry's already sore stomach. This made Harry even more furious, and he threw himself on top of the Slytherin, trying to strangle the blonde. by pressing his forearm against Draco's throat. "Give it up, Malfoy, or I'll make sure that you can't eat for days." Draco coughed under the pressure of his neck, but still succeeded to gather some strength to kick the infuriating Gryffindor off. Now it was his turn to roll on top of Potter, and once he succeeded, he wasted no time in hitting the boy who lived bitterly in the jaw. "You give it up, you cheat slut. The snitch is mine. It is I who caught it first." "The hell you did!" Harry threw the blonde away, ripping his silvery hair and frantically elbowing his ribcage. And once more, he pinned the Slytherin Seeker down against the mucky grass mattress under his own weight. "Gryffindor needs to win this game. I'll kill you if you won't let it go." "I don't care about your petty threats, golden boy. As if I would let Gryffindor win," Draco spat. "Besides, it's my turn. You've always got it before. And I intend to get it this time too, Malfoy. Give it to me, or I swear I'll kick the life out of you." "Oh, right," Draco charged. "I'd like to see you try." They were staring at each other, their eyes burning. Their faces were only a couple of inches apart, and Harry could suddenly distinguish even the smallest hair of Malfoy's madly scowling eyebrows. Draco's warm puffs of breath ghosted over Harry's lips, and involuntarily, Harry shivered. He stared down at the Slytherin, and suddenly he felt very lightheaded. "Oh, shit," he gulped, in a mere whisper. "Shit, shit, shit." Malfoy was staring confusedly in Harry's wide green eyes, not understanding immediately. But when he did, he grinned like a fool, a horrible, amused, and unbelieving fool. This was too absurd to be true. Without any warning, he nudged his hips upward, causing Harry to gasp audibly. Well, Potter, what do we have here?" he drawled. Harry was so horror-struck that he was nearly paralyzed. He was having a hard-on. A hard-on because of Draco Malfoy. Scared out of his wits, he tried to wriggle away, but Malfoy wouldn't let him. Instead, the Slytherin grabbed him firmly by the collar and pulled him even closer. "Scared, Potter?" he sneered at Harry's face very maliciously. It was only then when Harry felt also Malfoy's erection against his own. Harry took several nervous breaths and tried to maintain his relatively cool composure. However, his efforts were thrown away from the astronomy tower window as his embarrassment and shock were rapidly replaced with fury and rage. "What did you do to me, Malfoy?" he hissed, and angrily thrusted his free hand behind Malfoy's head, gripping the Slytherin's silvery hair. With force, he pulled it backwards and caused Malfoy to grimace and howl in pain. Harry felt elated. Malfoy's growls of pain were music to his ears, and he tightened his grip of the blonde's hair even more. He was hurting Malfoy, and it was the best thing he had ever done. Malfoy was helpless, wiggling beneath him, and it was the best sight he had ever seen. However, these wonderful feelings were short-lived, as even more new sensations started to flow in. To his utter terror, Harry found that he was actually enjoying this fight. He was enjoying the fact that he was in control of Draco Malfoy, and that Draco Malfoy was momentarily in control of him. Hell, this whole wrestling fight had turned him on more than anything that had ever happened before, and Malfoy was noticing it too. "I think that it is you who wants to do something, Potter," Draco snickered. "Or rather someone." Harry wanted to scream with rage, but suddenly found Draco's soft, wonderful scenting hair and baby's soft skin rather distracting factors. He couldn't help it. He just had to lean down, bury his nose in the Slytherin's hair, and inhale the delicate apple aroma. "Potter, you pervert!" Draco hissed. "Don't do that! Let go of the snitch and let go of me!" Only then Harry remembered the snitch again. Luckily, he was still holding it with all his might. He looked at Malfoy's manicured fingernails that were still grasping its other wing, and all of a sudden, he felt sick. Malfoy then managed to take him by surprise, and the Slytherin kicked him off. "Potter, you pathetic wanker! Why don't you just once let me win?" he moaned. They were both lying next to each other on the ground. They were panting heavily and nearly tearing the wings out of the little golden ball between them. Running footsteps were approaching, and the boys finally realised that they were still on the Quidditch pitch. Harry tiredly turned his head and saw their team members arriving, along with Madame Hooch. Natalie MacDonald had indeed fallen speechless while following the battle on the ground. To the outsiders, the wrestling looked even worse than what Harry and Draco were actually feeling. The stands were all clamour, and the other players were close to starting a fight as well. However, Madame Hooch was rapidly taking lead of the situation. "Boys, get up, both of you," she bellowed. Slowly, Harry and Draco heaved each other up. It was difficult because neither of them were letting go of the snitch. "Good. Now, before we start clarifying this dilemma, I want you to give the snitch to me." Neither of the boys obeyed. "I said," Hooch changed her tone to sound a bit more commanding, "let go of its wings and give it to me. You're going to break it." No reaction. Madame Hooch was slowly turning angry as well. "I said let go of it right now, or I shall do Lockhart's in your arms. Potter, you know already how painful it is to regrow bones, and Malfoy, you should be capable of imagining it. Now, let it go." Reluctantly, Harry detached his fingers from the ball's golden wings. When Draco saw him do that, he let go as well and handed it out to the professor. Madame Hooch smiled. "Good boys. Now, it seems to me that you both caught the snitch at the same time. Is this true?"
"No, I got it first, Professor. Potter just tried to steal it from me."
Draco hastened to explain.
"I did not try to steal it," Harry retorted. "It was you who tried to steal it from me." "So not true."
Draco crossed his arms and looked menacing.
"I really got it first." "He's lying, Professor," Harry snarled. "I got it first."
"Quiet, both of you," Madame Hooch sighed. "I have reached my decision. Sonorous." Her next words were heard by the entire stadium. "Mr. Harry Potter and Mr. Draco Malfoy both caught the snitch," she declared. "Therefore, the results of this game is as follows. Slytherin wins the game with 180 points, and Gryffindor loses with 170 points. Congratulations, Slytherin." Well, the Slytherin stands rioted and cheered. The 6th and 7th years clapped their hands enthusiastically, very satisfied with Madame Hooch's decision. The younger Snake's hatchlings threw down green confetti and balloons and waved Slytherin green flags. The Gryffindor stands remained absolutely quiet.
"But Malcolm Baddock made that score after we caught the snitch," Harry roared. "That goal doesn't count. The game should be a draw."
Murmurs from the other members of the Gryffindor team told that they all had the same opinion. Baddock's goal should not be counted.
"He did it before anyone saw we caught the snitch," Malfoy snarled at Harry. "So it does count. We won't take the credit away from him." "What credit?" Harry spat. "He did the goal when nobody else was paying attention to the game." "That's only because your team is so stupid to let that kind of thing happen, Potter," Malfoy barked. Oh, but of course, you are still keeping that weasel as your keeper." "Shut it, Malfoy!"
Ron Weasley snapped, stepping forward.
"For the 6th time in years, Slytherin defeat Gryffindor."
Draco looked hotly at the redhead.
"I'm hardly going to keep quiet about it. And oh, Weasley, thanks. You made it a lot easier for us. How does that feel?"
The Slytherin team laughed. They had applauded and whistled at themselves, and the players came to punch Malfoy friendly on the back.
"You did it, Malfoy. We always knew you could do it. Good job. It's Baddock we should all celebrate today."
Malfoy grinned at the younger chaser, who was responsible for the victory.
"Great goal. True Slytherin-like scheming."
Malcolm was all sunshine, if that kind of expression was legal to use when it was in question of a Slytherin student.
"Thanks, Malfoy," he beamed.
Madame Hooch stormed away from the pitch, leaving the students to celebrate on their own. Harry took one last look at Malfoy, who was fuller of himself than possibly ever before. Malfoy blew him a kiss, and Harry felt his cheeks redden. The audacity of that jerk! However, in all his hatred and dismay, Harry could not understand why he felt so uncomfortable in his trousers. Harry cursed himself in his capricious libido and turned hastily to follow his teammates, who were melancholily walking away from the pitch. Draco glanced at Harry's direction one last time and allowed a wide, gleeful grin to spread across his face.